Hey, what's up guys? It's Lucas and you're watching Fine Tuning. Alright, I've had a few days to get to know it, so today we're going to be checking out the 2020 Epiphone Explorer. As you guys know, there's been a lot of hype around Epiphone doing this new 2020 thing where they've gotten their guitars to kind of mirror more closely the Gibson lines that they are sort of based off of, and the Explorer is no exception. So this guitar comes in at $600, and so the question I want to answer today is the hype real? You know, because obviously if you've seen my video on the Gold Top Les Paul, the standard 50s, that guitar had some pretty major QC issues. So is the hype real? Is it worth 600 bucks? Let's check it out. So on Epiphone's 2020 Explorer, currently I think it is only offered in this finish, which is kind of like this beautiful sort of piano black, which I think just looks really, really good. I think black guitars are hard to pull off and look, you know, right, I guess, but this is just done beautifully and the fit and finish is great. So you've got 24 and 3/4 inch scale length like you would expect on a Gibson type guitar. You've got Epiphone's kind of standard medium jumbo type frets. The body is made of mahogany as well as the neck. The fingerboard is Indian Laurel because I don't think they've resolved that whole rosewood thing yet, so at the moment they're still making these with Indian Laurel. However, the Laurel to me feels almost identical to rosewood. I mean, it's maybe just a little bit more open pore, but it feels almost identical and it looks very, very similar. So I have no issues with that. Almost all, if not all, of the new Epiphone guitars, the 2020 line, are coming with Graphtec nuts, which is a huge upgrade in my opinion, because that's one of the places that I think some of the older Epiphones suffered, was having like a plastic nut. So the Graphtec nut just makes everything stay in tune better. It just works better. It's just a better nut. You have two Epiphone ProBucker pickups, a ProBucker 2 and a ProBucker 3, I believe. These are Alnico 2 magnet pickups. They sound actually really, really nice, which is another thing that I think some of the older Epiphones suffered from having pickups that didn't sound as good. So these two sound really, really good. It's got the Tune-o-matic type bridge and stop bar tailpiece. These are their lock tone versions, so all that means is that there's some little clips on the inside, so when you take the strings off, if you want to change the strings, the bridge and the tailpiece will not come off unless you want them to. So you just have to apply a little pressure and pull them off, but they don't just willy-nilly come off like the Gibson counterparts tend to. It's got Grover machine heads on it. As you can see, 18:1 ratio Grover tuners, which is really nice. It's got the updated logo, which looks a bit more like the Gibson font. It's got 2 volumes and a tone, a master tone, so you got your neck volume here, your bridge volume, and then your master tone. Of course, you got your output jack there on the side. Honestly, I have to say, I played a lot of Gibson guitars, I played a lot of Epiphone guitars. I think this is the closest I have ever felt an Epiphone get to its Gibson namesake. So this Explorer is absolutely as close to a Gibson Explorer I think as you could possibly feel without getting a Gibson Explorer. I mean, like, I don't think like if you blindfolded me, I don't think I could tell you the difference. It is that close, and it's really good. So signal chain, for those of you who are going to ask, today we're using my Line 6 Helix once again. Instead of having it plugged into my cabinets are actually at the practice space right now. So I just went ahead and did the kind of DI version of that. So I just took my exact same thing that I've been playing with live, and I just applied a DI kind of cabinet sound to it inside of the Helix. All right, so starting with our bridge pickup, here's some clean sounds. Same thing with both pickups together. All right, and here's the same thing on our neck humbucker. All right, moving back to our bridge pickup, here's a crunchy rock sound. All right, and here's the same thing with both pickups together. And here's the neck pickup. All right, and here's a more aggressive modern metal type sound on our bridge pickup. All right, now here's a really high gain lead sound, and I will toggle through the pickups as we go through. All right, so now that you've heard the specs and you've heard some sounds from the guitar, let's answer the two questions from the beginning. Is the hype real, and is it worth what it costs? So first of all, is the hype real? Yeah. Like, assuming that the quality control is not an issue, you know, if you get one of these from somewhere like Sweetwater or something that has their own in-house quality control so that you can make sure you get a good one, or you go check out one in person, something like that, then yeah, absolutely the hype is real. This is a mega good guitar. I would give it like, I don't know, a 9 out of 10 for the price point. I mean, it's insanely good for how much money it costs, and it absolutely nails the feel of the comparable Gibson guitar. I've owned several Explorers, and this one is just spot on, just as good as any Gibson Explorer I've ever owned or played. It just does the job perfectly. You know, whether or not you like the pickups, you want something higher gain, lower gain, whatever, that's kind of like a individual taste thing, but I think these pickups sound really good. And it stays in tune great, and I have really no complaints with it. The frets on these were, you know, pretty much perfect. So is it worth $600? Yeah, I think so. You know, people would argue that you could get like a Harley Benton or something a little cheaper, and you probably could. And I haven't tried one of those. I'm hoping that maybe they will send me some kind of something to check out, to show you guys. But for the look and the feel, if you really want that Gibson guitar thing, but you don't want to pay $1,200, $1,500, $2,000, $2,500, however much money for a Gibson guitar, and you want something that feels like that and has the look and the sound and everything, like, this is spot on. This is as close as you're gonna get. Especially with something like an Explorer, which is very unique to Gibson type shape, like this particular way of doing it. So yeah, I mean, I absolutely think it's worth $600. It sounds great and it plays great, and I have really only one complaint, and it's just the tiniest little minor complaint. These guitars, when they come out of the factory, I don't know if it's from the frets or from the fingerboard or whatever, but they will kind of make your fingers a little black when you play them. So I would recommend, just when you get the guitar, I mean, you should do this anyway, but when you get the guitar, put a new set of strings on it. But before you put a new set of strings on it, just clean the fingerboard with some like rubbing alcohol or something, and, you know, kind of clean the frets off a little bit with some Scotch-Brite or something. And then, you know, put some oil on it, put the new strings on, you should be good to go. So other than that, I think this is a fantastic guitar. I have nothing negative to say about it. So Epiphone really knocked this one out of the park. So anyway, I hope this has been helpful for you. I think this is a great guitar, and I think, you know, I would encourage you to go check one out if you can. And until the next time, I will catch you later.